Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. 2026 COLA pay raise. Are we going to see one? What's it looking like now? Are we getting some data in? Remember that the data started October, November, December. We're in January now, and moving forward, we're starting to pick up some trends. Now, granted, the COLA adjustment only utilizes 3 months to calculate its figure, and that is July, August, and September of this year. I'll tell you, you're going to blink your eyes and July will be here before you know it, and we will start getting the real data in. But for now, we do have data to allow some projections and some forecasting. I wanted to dive into it. I have an article here that I found, and this is from Think Advisor, and it just came out on January 15th, and I'm sharing it with you here today. So please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Every thumbs up and every minute watched really, really does help the channel out so very much. If you want to support in other ways, consider being a member. I do my best to get back to members in the comments. Thank you so much. All right, so Social Security COLA for 2026. What is it estimated to be? All right, the Senior Citizens League, who is basically the leader in this avenue, has used December's inflation numbers to generate its first Social Security cost of living adjustment estimate for 2026, projecting that the increase will be just over 2%, 2.1%. Now, the actual 2026 COLA won't be known until October, because October will warrant the September's CPI data, and then they will be able to actually calculate it, right? Because we need July, August, and September's data to calculate. Now, I'm going to read through this because we could turn some stones over, and also don't forget that there has been legislation in year over year about changing how Social Security Administration calculates COLA. Currently, they utilize the CPI-W, and there has been calls to change that to utilize the CPI-E, which is the Consumer Price Index for elderly, which, if you were to calculate those numbers going back in time, for the most part, it would be up, and it would be up an average of about 0.5%. Now, 0.5%, 0.5 on its face, not much, but when you compound it, obviously they wouldn't, but over time it does add up because you would be compounding that amount year over year. All right, so let's jump back into this. The actual 2026 COLA won't be known until October, when Social Security Administration will use the average rate of inflation during the third quarter to compare how prices have changed compared to the third quarter of 2024. For 2025, the COLA was set at 2.5%, which we all should have seen in our VA disability compensation. As noted by the Senior Citizens League, inflation came in at 2.8% in December of 2024, representing a continued, if very slight, cooling over the course of the last year. Now, that's important because this is what impacts the CPI, and which then results in the COLA, right? So, however, inflation is down much more meaningfully compared with the highs seen in 2022, which resulted in a near record 8.7% COLA in 2023 and an above average COLA of 3.2 in 2024. The average COLA over the last 20 years was 2.6% according to the league. And the last time COLA came in below 2% was 2021, when it was 1.3%. If Social Security Administration announced the 2026 COLA today, using the data from October to December, instead of July to September, it would come in at 2.6%. The league's analysis suggests. The COLA projection and context. The league's analysis emphasizes that while slowing inflation is a good thing, it doesn't mean prices will fall. It just means that they will rise more slowly. Which then brings up the question that we all feel, right? And I've talked about this before. If inflation is doing this and COLA is doing this, sure, the trajectory is both going up, but it's much steeper on the inflation side versus the adjustment side. Therefore, there's a gap. And even if the inflation cools down, it's still going to have an upward trend, and there's still going to be a gap that we're still behind. And Our next COLA will reflect smaller, keeping that gap still there. We need to do something to fill that gap, in my opinion. All right, let's move on. This leaves many seniors and veterans facing budget shortfalls. According to data from the League's 2024 Senior Survey, 62% of older Americans worry their retirement income won't cover essentials like groceries and medical bills. Inflation slowing down doesn't mean that seniors are catching up, observed Shannon Benton, Executive Director of the Senior Citizens League, in a statement. It's essentially that Congress acts quickly to fix years of subpar COLAs and help give seniors the quality of life they deserve. Let's read that again, because that is a great look. If seniors win on the Social Security side, I would think that veterans need to lobby on our side, and either we join up in that conversation or we need to have our own conversation. And I think that being quiet doesn't get anything done. So let's read that quote again. Inflation slowing down doesn't mean that seniors are catching up. Insert veterans instead. Observed Shannon Benton, Executive Director of the Senior Citizens League, in a statement. Here's another quote. It's essential that Congress acts quickly to fix years of subpar COLAs and help give seniors the quality of life they deserve. Again, you could insert veterans in there as well. Now, that's a good message, and I don't know, I mean, at least it's out there, and there's some pushing on Congress. I don't know what kind of pushing. Obviously, we all know that there are issues with Social Security, insolvency, all of that type of stuff. That needs to be fixed as well. But we can all also agree, there could be two truths at the same time, right? Social Security screwed up. Got it. Also, COLAs have been subpar, at least from 99.9% of the comments that I see. Everybody feels as though it's not bridging the gap, if you will. So I agree with Shannon Benton's quote here that Congress needs to act quickly to fix years of subpar COLAs. Benton called on President-elect Donald Trump to support seniors by following through on his plan to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits, a move that could save a typical senior about $3,000 per year. There's a quotation here. The Trump administration's plan to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits would make a massive difference, Benton argued. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of veterans that are receiving Social Security as well, so you'll win on that side. The current thresholds used to determine if you pay taxes on your benefits were set up back in the 1980s and were never adjusted for, and they've never been adjusted for inflation moving forward, which is horrendous. So with that, thanks for watching. I appreciate you so very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.